Our action research proposal will be about how access to technology at home relates to impoverished students' academic performance. With the increase of access to technology both at home and at school, we are interested in determining if access to educational technology at home will increase the students' overall academic performance by comparing students that have and don't have technology at home. From the educational leader's standpoint, how can we provide access to technology at home for students that don't have it? Since technology uses and access to the internet is a dominant component of our world, empowering students to be competent with these skills will be important not only for their academic performance, but for their future as well. If there is a disparity among students that have technology access at home and those that don't, educational leaders need to determine ways to assist these students who don't have the technology to get it so they can stay competitive with their peers in the class and beyond. Does access to technology at home for students that are impoverished increase their academic performance, and what can educational leaders do to support these students with technology access at home? Secondary questions can be addressed from this research to support educational leaders' decision making. The problem is that students with access to technology at home may be able to increase their performance in the classroom more than those that don't, continuing to widen the socioeconomic gap among students. Educational leaders will need to address this concern.
For our literature review, we looked for evidence around 5 big topics. The first topic is technology. Does technology increase academic performance? We also looked for evidence that technology outside of the classroom increases academic performance. We also wanted to see if there's evidence that claims that technology does not influence or has a very small influence on academic performance. We also wanted to see the effect of parent involvement with students in technology at home, just kind of some different practices that families might have around screen time or stuff like that. We also wanted to see how leaders can assist with sending technology home and making that an effective system for increasing academic performance. There were a few themes we kind of saw throughout our different research articles. One of them is that there is a need for supplementary educational support for impoverished students. However, families that are labeled as or identified as low socioeconomic status, they have trouble accessing these different types of support due to cost or transportation or other obligations such as a job or something like that they can't get their kids to that support. This quote by Dr. Sunny Magana, I think, summarizes some important notes about technology. I feel like it shows the importance of a good teacher in the classroom and that being a big influence on student achievement. Again, kind of that other theme is that it can't just be a game device that goes home with kids so they can do math games, but it needs to be intentional in regards to the learning. It's also important to involve all the stakeholders, students, teachers, families, building and district leadership, so everyone is on the same page as far as technology going home for it to be effective.
Students will be identified by access to the building databases for information regarding free and reduced lunch status. Permission consent and a letter of intent will be submitted to families along with a confidentiality notice. We will also be seeking parent participation. Further, we will access state and district level assessment data. Procedures. Baseline data will be determined using district and state assessment scores along with survey responses to determine trends and correlation to impoverished students and their ability to access technology, which is an example of groupings. This will be done at the beginning of the school year and then again at the end of the school year for comparison purposes. We will review the survey information and create a narrative using the information in order to better break down the use of technology at home for the students who are free and reduced rate lunch. Using that information from the survey will allow us to better understand the use of technology in the different schools and districts and whether or not students have access to it at home. Graphs will be created with beginning of the year and end of the year district and state assessment data, comparing those students who do have access to technology to those who don't. If the chosen district and/or school does not use iReady, the district approved and/or school chosen reading assessment data will be used in place of it. If the student did not have CMAS data from the previous year, then the iReady and/or district assessment approved data will be used to determine the baseline. If surveys are not being returned, phone calls, emails, and paper copies will also be sent out. Surveys will also be given to schools to be handed out during back-to-school night with a candy incentive to complete the survey at that time.